I'm Jake Meister. I'm the managing editor of Contracting Profits magazine. Right here, I'm sitting next to Jason Lee, the newly minted president of BSCAI. Yeah, give it up.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, yours is working?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay.
I'm on.
All right. Well, we got about 20 minutes here, so I'm going to get going. Jason, first off, I want to get the opportunity to kind of lean in and talk about your business that you've. How long ago did you start it now?
So the current, Matt, let me try the other microphone. Can you hear me now? There we go.
There we go.
Current company now I've owned for going to our 11th year, but I've been in the BSCI space for almost over 20 couple now.
Thanks. Okay, after that. Yeah, and but again, you were elected in January, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
President of BSCAI, and you've had a long-term relationship with the organization. So, given your experience with BSCAI and the industry in general, I'm really excited to ask you a few questions here. I guess since this is about why facility managers should choose certified cleaning professionals to do business with, what professional credentials are available to BSCs today that you think maybe are the most important?
So I'd say within our association, I think there's a few. I'll start at the top. Well, I'll start from the bottom and we'll kind of work up. We have the cleaning supervisor. I think I'm saying that right. So anyone who kind of supervises a building, there's a certificate that they can take for that, site supervisor certificate. The next one would be our RBSM, a registered building service manager. And again, that gives someone a kind of a broader scale, the kind of next level management. Folks who could be like an area manager, area leaders can kind of get those folks. That certification. And then obviously the big one is a CBSE, the Certified Building Service Executive. And that kind of goes into a whole bunch of everything from finance to operating your business down to how to workload and green cleaning. All those things are inside of that. So kind of go back to your original question. I think those are important because when you're sitting down and you're kind of, we're all in a competitive bid market and we're putting a bid in. When you could talk about your certifications, I think it's very important to bring those to light because that also separates you from the pack.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as the certifications you possess, CBSE, correct?
That's correct, yes, sir.
For your business, how remarkable was having that and being able to sell that? I mean, the education that comes with it, but also the marketing ability of, hey, I'm this owner who has this title.
Well, I'll tell you what. I remember as you start a business, anybody who's a BSC here, as soon as you start, you're just going to go out and try to clean. Trying to figure out the book smart stuff. We'll get to that at some point. So I remember getting to the point of studying the CBSE. Oh my gosh, there were so many things that I think I was missing in what I was doing, and it was really good to me because we kind of went back. We even changed some policies and procedures to make us better. So, again, it's been helpful for us along the way.
Excellent. And I guess another question would be, earning these professional credentials, the commitment. You just spoke of it. You had to learn a lot. There's a commitment of time and money there, but I guess what are the top 3 reasons, in your opinion, why somebody who might be hemming and hawing, saying, hey, I'm a busy individual, I'm really having a hard time carving out time for anything else, like why now? Like what would your selling points be?
Of why to get this
certification? You're right.
Oh, I would say this is going to make you better. I think it's going to make your company better. I remember, again, going back and studying the material and looking at certain things. And, again, most of us have certain policy procedures or ways that we do certain things. And I remember going back and going, wow, I can enhance and change this. I can make this better. The time factor, here's what I say. I had already been in the industry probably 15 years.
Okay.
Which was a long time, but at least 15 years. And then I went down the path of taking my CBSE. And again, even with all that knowledge, there were so many other things I learned when I went through that certification. I would tell everybody, I challenge anyone to take it. It will make you better.
Okay, and you got all the selling points there from how it benefits the BSC, but for facility manager listeners, kind of why is it of benefit for them to solicit bids or to select to do business with a BSC that is well credentialed?
Well, I think it's like anything else. I'll take us to if we wanted to go and choose where we want to go on vacation, and I'm just using that as an example. And most of the times, most of us, now with internet, we can kind of read up on some stuff, but we want some of that inside knowledge, or we want to know certain things. Having that credential is that one thing that, even from a facility manager, you want to find out that the company you're hiring, who you're bringing on, can they really handle this facility? And I'm telling you, when you start to get to that piece and you ask certain questions, or you ask them to kind of go into what they do or how they do it, you will start to see where that matters. These folks have systems that are in place. Most of them are going to have, the technology. They're going to have the infrastructure. But I think it sets us apart. So I would say if I was a facility manager, I would want to make sure that that's included in my bid package.
Okay, and BSCAI, of course, you being the president there, this would be apropos to ask. They strongly support professional credentials as an organization. Would you say the majority of members possess certification?
No, I would say it's like anything else. There's the folks who are average, and there's folks who are above average. I don't care where you are. I don't care if it's we just talked about NFL before we started.
Yeah.
There's some NFL teams you look at and you go, ugh. But they're the same people that are on the field getting paid the amount of money, but they're not the best player. And I would say for us in our industry, we're pushing it all the time. Everybody doesn't always grasp to it or take it. But I would tell anybody anybody's part of BSCI, you should take the time to go get credentialed. It's very important. I think it sets you apart. And I would say if I look at our industry now, and I got some other members out here, we may say there's probably 10% of our organization that has the certification. So I think, again, I don't care where you go, there's that cream. I want to be a part of the cream that rises. So I would challenge anyone, get a certification. It's going to better you. It's going to better your company. You'll do better.
Yeah, that's an excellent analogy, and I hope there's no Raiders fans in the crowd. But I was going to say there's a difference between the Raiders and the Seahawks.
Definitely that.
Yeah. And I guess what do you hear from members of BSCAI when they talk to you about the impact of the certification, especially when they've gotten it recently, or just what kind of dialogue comes up? What are they saying?
Well, I think one thing we're challenging ourselves as an association to do is really put our CBSC out there to facility managers. We're trying to do our part as well to make sure that becomes part of a bid package. I know certain organizations have gone out and said, hey, you know what? Here's what we have, and they put it out there. I think we're trying to do a better job of that as we speak. But I think we're a work in progress. I think cleaning is a commodity.
Sure.
And I think what we're trying to do is make it professional. And I think we have what it takes to back up. We're now going into our 61st year as an organization association. We have 61 years of information of what's the good, bad, and the uglies from companies that all put information. And that's the other thing I like about this. This was put together by contractors. So it wasn't like someone came out and this was a whole lot of contractors who came together and put together what we think are best standards and lean into those. So they have done a great job in doing that as well.
Awesome. And just to get we've been talking about credentials a bit here, but as far as other things in the bidding process, what are some things you think BSCs could be doing better?
Man, that's a good question. I think the reality is we've got to get good from a bidding perspective. I think we've got to get good at really looking at labor. We got to get at technology. We got to figure out ways to be innovative. I say innovative. I think this morning in one of the sessions, someone said, I think, matter of fact, I'm looking at my two brothers here, Dave Murphy and Mr. Collins here. And then Bill asked the question, hey, after 37 years, like, what has changed? And we were talking, and the funniest thing is, just take a backpack. I just saw somebody just walking around here with a battery backpack. Being able to change that in your industry or to your bid can really change some things. Or the new equipment like ride-on scrubbers or using scrubbers that are autonomous. Being able to put those in, and it doesn't mean I'm going to lose a person, but I can move people around. There's certain things I can clean and I can do different with my labor because labor is our issue right now. Yeah. Always has been. It ain't nothing new. But it's now taking advantage of the equipment and the innovation in the industry to use it to make it better for us.
And is that something, that's an excellent point as far as the automation there. Do you think that's something still that's pervasive in the industry? Maybe the employees themselves kind of reticent to be working with the robotic technology or AI, or do you think they're kind of opening up more to it? Because like you said, if you're a BSC that's able to purchase these robotics or things that make business better, then these employees aren't put out of a job, but they're able to focus on other things. So is there more buy-in?
I think it comes down to the training, which is important. I mean, I think people have to understand how to operate said machine or a piece of equipment. They've got to understand. I remember, I just take away folks who that are out cleaning facilities. Take our own office staff or our area leaders. A lot of our folks have come up from being the cleaner to now managing many people. We had to sit down with them and have a class on AI and how AI works, ChatGPT, Claude, we really had to sit down with those folks and go, hey, listen, this is how this can help you to your advantage. So we got to take the time to train. I think as you train someone how to use a device or what this device is, how it works and how it can make your job better, not trying to take your job, but trying to make your job better, help you think a little bit bigger out of the box, people settle in and go, you know what, this makes sense. And I think we got to continue to challenge them. We challenge our folks every week to bring something back from the AI platform all the time. Like, hey, we're starting a meeting off with something on AI, and tell me how you use that. So we got to get them used to using it and not like, hey, you know what, this is just here.
Yeah.
So that the buy-in comes with training.
Okay. And it sounds like the buy-in's growing a little bit. What are some other things you talked about the industry well right now as far as retention? What are some things you're seeing some real successful BSCs instituting to kind of improving employee engagement? And it's always going to be hard to retain employees, but what are some more innovative, newer things you think are being instituted?
I'm going to give you one that's not even innovative and that's been around for a long time. It's just caring. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but sometimes we think, oh, we got to come up with this new thing. Just care. I said this before. 2018 or so, our company was probably 70% African American, 20% Caucasian, or 30% Caucasian. And I remember overnight we became a 98% Hispanic company.
Wow.
And I remember I had to go, okay, I'm not of Hispanic descent, but I had to figure out the culture. I had to understand them. I had to understand what they go through. I had to put their shoes on. And when you do that as an owner, a CEO, you start to realize that, wow, I got to care, I got to understand, but then I got to figure out ways to help the folks that are helping me. And I think those kind of things built in retention. I think those kind of things, we learn so many things about, in the Hispanic holidays, like, where we look at Christmas and go, man, Christmas is our holiday off. Their day is Christmas Eve. So when you look at that and you go, okay, you know what, we're going to figure out a way to have everybody off on this night and change this over, and we are helping them to enjoy their family. Man, that became a recruiting tool just by itself. So there's sometimes we just think we got to reinvent the wheel. No, we just got to care. I think when we care, people will stay on board. They're going to tell their friends and family to join us. And we've had folks that start off and then become as far as director of operations in the company. So it's come a long way.
That's excellent. And so it's really about leading with empathy, just making them feel understood. Is that something you try to articulate then too or would you suggest a BSC to do that? during the bidding process to not just talk about, hey, these are our performance, these are our figures. You see, we're excellent, but also knowing that if you're doing business with us, you're doing business with a very ethically sound company. Does that matter, do you think, to these facility managers or people looking to hire?
I'm telling you 100%. I mean, I think at the end of the day, the client knows that you're bringing your team in to run their facility, run their investment. And at the end of the day, when they know more about your people, they know how your people are or the things that you're setting up for them. I'm telling you, I mean, we dig deep in our community in that because they're part of the community.
Yeah.
So when they see those two things come together and they can see that you have a great culture, that's what they want on their team. They want winners as well. So I think you should do that. You should always talk about your team and all the things they're doing, not just what we do as a cleanup, but who these people are, because they're human beings. I'm a human being. I want you to talk about me too. So they're no different. We gotta act that way. And sometimes we think it's like us against them, and it's like, no, this is our family. This is the people that takes care of you. They take care of us. Let's take care of them.
Awesome. And I guess we're kind of in the point of the interview right here. I think, is there anything that's been on your mind as of late or something you've been working on with, whether it's with your business or with BSCAI, you think the crowd would benefit to hear about?
Now, I would say my quest this year, if anything, because everybody's like, well, hey, as a president, what's your one thing this year? My biggest thing is telling anybody who's a BSC, a building service contractor, get involved. What you have counts. Get involved in your association. We love to have you, but we want new ideas. We want to hear about it. But get involved in your association because it doesn't just come from me. It comes from all of you all. So get involved in your association. That's all I got.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. I mean, I can tell the organization's very excited to have you leading, and I can also tell that by the sheer numbers that we've seen, the attendance and the participation sounds like it's absolutely going in that direction, Jason. So, is there anyone in the crowd that would like to ask a question to Jason today, or? All right then.
Before I go, if there's any questions anybody has, I just want to tell you guys, this guy here did a great job. So there's an article that the Contracting Profits did, and me and this gentleman, man, he interviewed me, and what he put out right there, which Dan's holding up, he did a heck of a job. So what you say now? Oh yeah, I'll sign some stuff if you want to, but he was the one. He was the one behind it. Literally took time, asked me great questions, and I just want to tell you, man, Jake, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Jason.
Thank you all. You did a good job. I appreciate it. Oh, we have a question. We have a question. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Let me give you a microphone. You got it.
And the jobs.
Say it again now.
Do you have any information or ideas where we could turn around and apply to get the education it needs?
Sure. So what I can do is I'll come meet you. I'll come to you. BSCI. We have things that I'll bring you some different things of how we get some training to you. Yes, ma'am. Where are you out of? Oh, out of Gary, Indiana. Okay, sounds good. I'll make sure I get you some information. Any other questions? All right, I think we did it.